Welcome to Toastmaster Time, the show that's got everyone talking. My name is Dr. Michelle Petticola, and I'm your host for this edition of Toastmaster Time. Like other Toastmaster meetings, we have prepared speeches and we evaluate them to give the speakers feedback and help them improve. For that, we have our very own evaluator, Kimmy Avery. Kimmy, welcome to the show. Please tell us a little bit about what we can expect for this show.
I am really excited to be here, and today we're going to be hearing from Vivian Ling, who's going to talk about leadership in Toastmaster. Then we're going to be hearing from Toby Do, who's going to talk to us about what it means to be 19 years old. And then Lexy Bennett, who will talk to us about where's the gold? Can you find that gold? Back to you, Michelle.
That sounds like a very exciting show. We'll be talking to you later. Right now, I want to introduce our first speaker, Vivian Ling. Vivian, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Michelle.
Vivian, would you tell our guests, our audience, a little bit about your Toastmaster experience? What clubs do you belong to?
I'm a Toastmaster member of 2 clubs. One is a corporate club at my workplace, East Bay Mud Toastmaster Club, and then another one is People Movers Toastmaster Club that I just joined last year.
Wow, 2 clubs. That's amazing. And have you learned anything about leadership in the process of your Toastmaster career?
Absolutely. I've been in Toastmaster over 2 decades.
Wow.
And I was so fortunate to have good mentors who showed me how to achieve the best Toastmaster Education Award. So finally, I got it. This year, I got the Distinguished Toastmaster Award.
That's amazing. And I also understand that you have been doing work in youth leadership. Can you tell us about that?
Absolutely. Back in about 15 years ago, my mentor asked me to try out more in leadership tracks. And that's when I started the leadership programs. And that was when my son was really young in elementary. A few years after, I sponsored 4 more youth leadership programs. And soon after that, I continued my leadership journey in Toastmaster. I find it really fun.
Well, Vivian, are you ready? Are you prepared to share your speech?
Absolutely, I'm ready.
We're going to give you a little bit of time to get set up. And while you do that, I'm going to share with the audience what your speech objectives are.
Thank you.
Vivian's speech comes out of the manual, Communication on TV. And she is going to be talking about effectively presenting an opinion in a very short amount of time. Vivian Ling, tomorrow needs future leaders today. Tomorrow needs future leaders today. Vivian Ling.
This is a special year for me and my son. Finally, I got my Distinguished Toastmaster Award, and my son got admitted to his dream Ivy League college. All these accomplishments would not be possible if we did not join Toastmasters. Toastmaster lead the way. When I was in college, I took technical writing and communication classes. I felt so stressful because I had to be graded by my professor. Would that be a lot better if I was in Toastmasters or in youth leadership program before I joined my college? Would I perform much better in my communication classes? In college, I had many job interviews. I want to get into my dream job as a consulting. I did not get it. Would it be better if I joined Toastmasters or being trained in the youth leadership program before I enter college? I will get my dream job. Soon after I get my first job, I joined Toastmasters. Within a year, I completed my competence communications manual. And within 2 years, I got promoted twice. I was so happy, and I did not know I need to do more in Toastmasters. Fast forward a decade, a mentor, she scared me and challenged me. She said, there is the highest level that I can reach. I should consider that. And that involved leadership track. I thought about it, and I listened to her advice, and I started looking for opportunities. I was so lucky at my son's elementary school. His third grade teacher agreed to sponsor a youth leadership program. And that's when I started my leadership journey in Toastmasters. I was surprised to see these young children grew so much in public speaking and leadership in just 8 weeks. Backtrack to my college. If I joined Toastmaster in my college or before my college, would I perform much better? That's what I see could happen to these young students. And soon after his elementary school, I decided to have more leadership experience with my son together. So, in his middle school, I sponsored 3 more youth leadership programs. And he found it so fun that he joined 3 more leadership programs. In his middle school, he just explored different leadership and public speaking experience. I see him grow from always say no to opportunities to always say yes. When he stepped into high school, I saw him grow really fast. He decided to give back to the community and found a Toastmaster Gavel Club in his high school. When his teacher asked him to represent his robotic teams, impromptu answering judges' questions, he would take that opportunities. And he was able to win so many awards in his robotic competitions. Also in high school, he got the first place in the Inter-Gavel Club contest. It was amazing to see how this young son grew so well. His journey did not stop. His leadership did not stop. He was so lucky because of Toastmaster Youth Leadership programs, and he got selected as a chairman of a city's youth council and later became a spokesperson of the teen councils in a local museum. All this come together because of Toastmaster leadership. Finally, this year, he got accepted to his dream Ivy League college. Toastmasters really helped him all the way. Now he owns these self-help skills. He has public speaking and leadership skills. He will soon reach 18. In his college, he will join an adult Toastmaster club, and he will use Toastmaster Medley Fund to sponsor youth programs to help more youth to succeed. Fellow Toastmaster and friend, tomorrow needs neither today. You ask yourself every day, am I helping someone? Or am I improving in my public speaking and leadership? Go out there, look for a Toastmaster club in your neighborhood, join a club, and start your Toastmaster journey now.
Vivian, that was a great speech. I'm really inspired. I expect all of you out there to be joining Toastmasters right away. Kimmy, our evaluator, is now going to give her opinions about the speech. Kimmy, what did you think of Vivian's speech?
I loved Vivian's speech. I loved that she used the space in the circle to be able to tell the story. She used her personal story about being in college and not having been successful at getting her first job. And then she told the story about getting her son into college through the Toastmasters program, the youth leadership program, which gave such a great example about why somebody would want to join Toastmasters, what is possible. And I loved her enthusiasm as she was describing this process to the audience as a way to grow your sense of leadership skills. And the future needs leaders now. And Vivian taught us how to do that. Thank you, Vivian. Great job.
Kimmy, thank you for your comments. We'll get back to you later, but right now I want to introduce our second speaker, which is Toby Do. Toby, welcome to Toastmaster Time.
Thank you.
Toby, tell us a little bit about your Toastmasters experience. What caused you to join in the first place?
Well, my experience has been phenomenal. And what caused me to join Toastmaster was that I want to improve my communication skills, and Toastmaster was the right choice. I never regret it.
And how has that been affecting your life at this point? How has it been reverberating in your everyday life?
Well, I can communicate better to friends and family. I'm more confident in a public setting, and I just feel much better about myself, and especially my personal self-image. That's how I feel.
And what club do you belong to?
Well, I technically belong to 2 clubs.
Wow.
Yeah, I belong to West County Toastmasters and Toast of Richmond.
That's fabulous. And how long have you been a Toastmaster?
Almost 1 year now.
And you're here on Toastmaster Time TV. That's pretty
Yes.
courageous of you.
Mm-hmm.
Are you ready to give your speech?
Yes, absolutely.
I'm going to give you a few minutes to prepare, and while you do that, I'm going to share with the audience what your speech objectives are. Toby is doing his speech from Dynamic Leadership, and he is going to be sharing various aspects of leadership. Toby Do, what does it mean to be 19? What does it mean to be 19? Toby Do.
What do I do for fun? Or what I should ask you, what do you do for fun? For I'm always focusing on work, school, and sleep. Work, school, and sleep. Neglecting things like spending time with family, doing the things I enjoy, or just enjoy the food I like to eat. This question doesn't seem as serious as developing myself as a leader. Things like, how do I want to lead people? Should people even follow me? What kind of leader do I want to be? It doesn't seem as serious, but what do I do for fun I think is a very important question, because reflecting on my life with the help of my special mentors, especially one very close to me, showed that I didn't know how to have fun. I didn't know how to talk to people. I was very antisocial. I didn't know how to start a conversation or simply say, hi, my name is Toby. I was very scared. I was always afraid, always back away, always crouching in fear, always sitting in the corner of the room. And it made life much, much harder. And with that in mind, I decided to, you know what, I want to be more sociable. All leaders, I notice, are good with people. Even though they're introverts and they are extroverts, it's good to be able to say, hey, my name is Toby. Nice to meet you. Something as simple as that. And I decided to build more confidence. And by doing so, I decided to do things outside my comfort zone. For example, going out there, traveling the cities. I've never been to San Francisco before myself, and I'm doing that more and more. Meeting new people from various income and backgrounds, talking to them person to person, understanding them emotionally, understanding what are their goals, how can I help them, how do I want to make them feel after I'm done talking to them. That's what I'm always thinking as a leader. How can I connect to people and help them and give them value? That's what I'm always thinking when I'm talking to people. And thus, because of that, I'm also learning more about myself, not just as a leader, but as who I am. What do I like to do for fun? I like comedy. I like talking to people, which is shocking. I used to thought I don't like talking to people. People are not for me. Computers are. But I realized, no, people, I like people. I like to surround myself with people and talk to people. It feels great. It feels good to know that, hey, Mom, how's your day? Or, hey, Dad, I know you have a long day. Can you tell me, what happened? Even though I can't fix your problem, I know you had a bad day. I can help you, make you feel better. I want to tell you, I understand you, Dad. It's okay. I'm listening. That, I think, is what a leader should be doing. And that's what I've been discovering from the last 1 year, because I did not go straight into college, trade school, the military, or straight into business. Even though those are great options, I decided to take that 1 year break, and I never regret it. Especially after my mentor, he told me, Toby, go out there and find out, what does it mean to be 19? And back then I didn't know, I didn't have the answer. I really didn't. And my mentor said, Toby, what do you do for fun? I'm like, I don't know. What kind of music do you new 19-year-olds listen to? I was like, I tell him some random music. He's like, I don't even know who these artists are. Okay, Toby, this is what you need to do. This is your assignment. Get rid of the mustache, change your hair, wear some nice clothes, and just go out there and have some fun. Don't focus on business or work or school or any of that. Just go out there and have fun and go on TV and tell the world how's it been going. It's been wonderful. And that's what I like about leaders. Leaders, I discovered, they go out there and find mentors that help them grow to become the person they want to be, not just as leaders, but as human beings. That's what I'm discovering. And knowing that, I think I know what the answer what it means to be 19. It's been an emotional roller coaster. Definitely was. I had so many ups and downs, so many challenges. And looking back at it, I don't think it's as bad as I think it is. I think it's going to be a great year, actually. I'm going to grow for sure. It's been a year of growth, immense growth. And looking at it, it's a chapter of my life being closed and open. That, I think, is what it means to be 19. Thank you, my fellow Toastmasters.
Thank you, Toby. You really inspired me. I wish I had known about Toastmasters when I was your age. Now for some evaluation, Kimmy will give her comments about how the speech went for her. Kimmy, what did you think about Toby's speech?
I loved Toby's speech. I loved it because he was describing his personal journey, and I always love personal journeys. But what I particularly like about it is that he made a choice to step out of his comfort zone, and he gave example after example after example of choosing to step out of his comfort zone and try something new. And as he was doing that, he told little stories about him moving forward. He used vocal variety to some extent. So a stretch, I would say, would be to stretch a little bit more, use a little bit more vocal variety, and use the stage a little bit more so that there's a little more movement in his speech. But overall, I thought he did a fabulous job. I loved his passion, and I think that we've got a great leader on the way.
Thank you, Kimmy, for your comments. We'll get back to you later. Right now, I want to introduce our last speaker, Lexy Bennett. Lexy, welcome to Toastmaster Time. How are you doing tonight?
I'm good.
Great. Can you tell us a little bit about your Toastmaster experience? How long have you been a Toastmaster?
About 25, 28 years.
Wow. And what clubs do you belong to?
I belong to Toast of Richmond in Richmond. I also belong to, I have a couple of clubs that I'm kind of dating right now. One club I'm dating is Heart to Heart. Another club that I'm going to be a part of is Oakland Leaders Club. And I also belong to People Movers Club.
Wow, that's a lot of clubs. How do you have time for anything but Toastmasters? That's great. Tell me a little bit about how you found out about Oakland Leaders.
I found out about Oakland Leaders because Cynthia Stott gave us an invite to the Speechcraft. I like the Speechcraft because Speechcraft is a way of developing your speaking skills. It's mainly for people that are just starting out, but I feel like as a Toastmaster, there's always a lot I could still learn.
Thank you for sharing about the Speechcraft. Speechcraft is a series of trainings that are given by Toastmasters clubs to the public, either to help them to increase their membership or to actually start new clubs. What have you learned from the Speechcraft?
I've learned from the Speechcraft, what I've mainly learned is there's always much more to learn. I got a feedback from one of the breakout groups last night, actually, and they gave me a couple of ideas of how I could fine-tune my speech, what I can add, what I could take away, and how my speech will even be much more dynamic.
Well, that sounds really exciting. Are you ready to give your speech?
Yes, I am.
Great. So while you get set up, I'm going to go over your speech goals and objectives. Lexy's speech comes from the Legacy Manual, Competent Communicator. And what she's going to be focusing on is vocal variety. That is, being able to incorporate different levels of speech, pitch, and speed, and also to use judiciously pauses. So our third speaker, Lexy Bennett. Where is the gold? Where is the gold? Lexy Bennett.
I just came out of the ladies' room, and this other lady was in there. She was putting on her makeup, and she looked at me. I said, well, how do I look? She said, well, sister, you need to fix your wig. The back looks like it should be in the front, and the front looks like it should be in the back. So I suggest you go in the mirror. I said, wow, yeah, I have got an interview, so I better fix my wig. That lady taught me something. What we have in our life is gold. Welcome, fellow Toastmasters and most honored guests. What we have in our life is gold. Have we found the gold? Are we looking for the gold? That lady in the bathroom, did she give me any gold? I would say she did. She gave me a reminder to always look in the mirror. When I was a youngster, about 15 years old, I had a person in my family tell me, Alexis, you know, you're not really doing so well in school, so I suggest you drop out. Drop out, just save all of us a lot of time and energy, and just drop out of school. That took me by a storm. Did that person give me any gold? I don't know. I have to figure that out. Maybe they gave me a little bit of gold. The gold that they gave me was no matter what, to continue in school and in my life, no matter what anybody says. Fast forward some 20-something years ago. By the way, I did finish school. And I didn't have no 10 babies and get on welfare like that person was claiming I was going to do. I started working for East Bay Mud, the water company in Oakland. And I walked into their Toastmaster club. I thought, well, my job's boring as anything. I might as well do something exciting. So I walked into the Toastmaster club. I went to some meetings. I really enjoyed it. I gave my first speech, and they loved it. They were laughing all over the place with my speech. They gave me lots of gold with my speech. However, I started on my second speech. I delivered my second speech. I thought it was pretty dynamic. However, there was a young lady there who gave me an evaluation. We all have evaluations, you know, feedback we get in our lives. She did not like my speech, and she did not like Alexis Bennett. Can you believe it? Who wouldn't like Alexis Bennett? But she said, Alexis, sorry to say, you don't have what it takes to do public speaking. I suggest you give it up right now. Right now, while you haven't wasted a lot of time. Did she give me any goal? I would say maybe a teensy, weensy little bit. However, at that same Toastmaster meeting, there was an older Toastmaster leader there, and he said, Alexis, I don't care what she said. You're about to bust through the screen. You are a Toastmaster. You are a great performer, and you are going to be a great speaker. Wow, I was stunned. I'm like, how does he know what my life is going to entail? I stayed in that club for a couple of years. I eventually became president of that club. They encouraged me to get into youth leadership. I thought about youth leadership. I got into it, and the first year was great. The kids loved me. They said, Miss Bennett, I know you only needed 1 point for youth leadership for one of your goals, but can you please come back next year? Well, what happened was every year they kept saying, please come back 1 more year. I ended up doing youth leadership for 8 years. I had a lot of fun. The goal that I received was major. I had one student, when he gave his first speech, his very first speech, this was him. He said, this is my first speech. I'm going to talk about my vacation to Japan. That's the end of my speech. When it came time to his 6th speech, he brought in his karate tools and he was brandishing them, and he looked around the room and he looked at the woman in the back of the room. He said, the lady in the back with the purple hat and the orange shirt, do you see me? Do you hear me? Do you believe me? That was something. He got the idea of Toastmasters, that's for sure. Later on, I found out that that student was accepted into Harvard. And some of my youth leadership students have been accepted into Yale and Brown and UC. So I will have to say that find the gold. You never know where that gold's gonna lead to. Thank you very much.
Well, Kimmy, what did you think about that speech?
Oh, I thought it was really fun. I loved her focus was on vocal variety. She did a great job at vocal variety. I loved how she told the story about being in the bathroom. She had some explosive language there, but she looked for the gold. That was brilliant. I also loved how she was able to tell the story and the flow of all the things that she talked about. And then the last bit, which was so great, where I made a note that said maybe she needed to pause more, and she paused nice and slowly during that process. It was fabulous. And what I loved about the whole process was that she guided us through a story and showed us how the youth leadership program that she worked with made such an impact on all the students that she worked with.
We've been told about youth leadership quite a bit, haven't we?
I know, isn't that great? Leadership is the theme for the day, it seems.
Well, thank you for your comments, Kimmy, and it's been a pleasure having you on your show. That's our show for tonight. Thank you for joining us for Toastmaster Time. If you would like to know more about our show, please come to our website at toastmastertime.com. Our sponsor is Toastmasters District 57. If you want more local information, go to d57tm.org. If you want more information about Toastmasters in general, or you want to know about clubs in your area, go to Toastmasters International at toastmasters.org. We appreciate our crew and volunteers that have made this show possible, and we also want to thank our guests, our speakers, Vivian Ling, Toby Do, and Lexy Bennett. Also want to thank Kimmy Avery, our evaluator. From all of us at Toastmaster Time, I'm Dr. Michelle Petacola. We invite you to join Toastmasters and keep talking.